Alright, I don't know what happened to my last stream there. But, as always, there's got to be something. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Alright. Looks like we're back up and running again.
That's what we're doing it. But when I ran, you never told me it was going to be that deep, that vicious, that rough. It's a deep suck.
Alright, let's see if we got this still buffering, hun. What the fuck? Is it still buffering? Still buffering right now? It's settled down? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, baby, you gotta make sure that door stays closed.
Yes, but Daddy, we don't know when to pour in those cheese packs.
I'm gonna come up and do it for you.
Okay.
So just let it cook for a minute. I'll be right there.
Okay. Because there's poppers.
I know. Donk wants out. No, they're literally cooking. They're cooking craft dinner. I don't know why it's still giving me a hard time. Is it buffering right now? This is crazy. I cannot catch a break. Yes, I'm coming up. Just give me 2 seconds here. I said I will be up. I have no idea why it's doing this. I have no idea why it's giving me. Is it still doing it? Seems good now here. I don't know why it doesn't. Okay, hold on a sec here. Okay. Joe McLean, okay. I don't know. Is it still buffering? Alright, let me see.
It was a little different, but it's still tough, but this is much tougher. And people see it, but you have to see the ratings. That's why the ratings are bad for a lot of the sports. Nobody ever thought of this, but I thought of it. A couple of people wrote it. The ratings are bad because so many people are watching this. It's tougher. But they're going to be calling for us. Please, please run again. We think we're going to endorse. I got endorsed by the Pittsburgh.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back, guys. Let's leave this up.
Post-Gazette. I got it endorsed first time since 1972. That they endorsed, right? It's a big newspaper, very good, very liberal newspaper, but that's okay. But first time since 1972 that they endorsed a Republican, so it's an honor. And if you don't read the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, it was one of the best endorsements. Yes, we don't like him. Yes, he has a horrible personality. But listen to this. It's not that I do, but I have been under siege illegally for 3.5 years. I've been fighting for 3.5 years, and I said to somebody today, I wonder what it would be like if the fake Russia hoax and all this crap with the impeachment over nothing, over a phone call, that was perfect. That was perfect. I wonder what it would be like if we didn't have all of this horrible stuff, and if it didn't, we'd have a very calm situation, and maybe I'd be less popular. I don't know, maybe I'd be less popular. Because you know what, the fact is people see that we fight. We're fighting for you, but it's just a really dirty, horrible business. But I said today, because they would say, they don't like the personality, and he's always fighting. I'm fighting to survive. You have to survive. Very few people would have survived. They would have been in the corner. They would have said, Mommy, put their finger in the mouth, put their thumb in the mouth and say, Mommy, take me home. I'm out of here. Get me the hell out of here, Mom. And say, forget about the American people. Mommy, I want out of here right now. No, we can't do that, but you have to fight hard, and then you fight hard, and you hit them back, and then they say, there's chaos in the White House. They caused the chaos. We have a great group of people. We have a lot of them here tonight, great people in the White House. But it's true. I wonder if it would have been different, if they didn't, because these were all, we caught them spying on our campaign. We caught them trying to take out a duly elected president of the United States. That's treason. That's treason. We caught them. And someday, maybe something's going to be done about it, too, maybe. Oh, boy. They can't. We don't want to do anything prior to the election. Well, what about me? They did it to me before they spied on my campaign before the election. We shouldn't do anything prior to the election. And you know who we caught? Barack Hussein Obama and Sleepy Joe Biden. They were a part of it. We ought to get these reports out. They should get them out before the election, as far as I'm concerned. They should get them out right before the election. Should have gotten them out a long time ago. We have information you wouldn't even believe it. I don't even get involved. I always said I'm going to stay uninvolved. It's very hard for me to do, I'll tell you. No, it is, because, you know, I didn't have to do that. I thought it'd be the right thing. And yet they did the Mueller report, right? The phony Mueller report. 18 angry Democrats, smart. 18 angry, vicious, many of them worked for Hillary Clinton. 18 angry Democrats. They spent $48 million, and at the end of 2.5 years, no collusion, okay? A friend of mine said, you have to be the most innocent man in the world. And they checked everything. They checked taxes. They checked. For $48 million, you check taxes, right? And by the way, we announced, you know, I prepaid millions and millions of dollars in taxes. They didn't say that. They refused to say. They say, well, prepaying isn't paying. I said, no, it's prepaid. That's even worse. Millions of dollars, many millions of dollars. And that'll all come out. Every correct. And you know, when you look at it, when you look at what's going on, seriously, think of that. Just think about that tonight when you're with your family. I wonder if it would have been different. I wonder if it would have been a different kind of a feel. And you know what? Honestly, maybe it wouldn't have been as good. Maybe we wouldn't have these massive crowds, because you see what somebody is when we're under siege, and you people get it. You're smarter than them. You're smarter than these people. You get it. And you've always gotten it. It's a beautiful thing, and I'll never forget it. I want to tell you, I'm never going to forget it. But we were under siege, and we caught them, and it's treason or whatever you want to call it. But with Sleepy Joe Biden, they don't want to write anything. We caught the whole thing. The son, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? The son was like a human vacuum cleaner. He'd go in and follow his father. Let's go to China today, son. They fly in on Air Force Two, right? I guarantee you one thing, Mike Pence, I know his kids, they don't do that. They don't do that. They're unbelievable kids, military. But you know, let's go to China today, Dad. I'd like to follow you. It's like, walks out with $1.5 billion fees on, oh, he must be a great investor. You know, the greatest investors don't make that deal with China. China doesn't do that. They don't give money out for other people that are less smart than them to invest. Let's give our money to somebody that's not very smart to invest, okay? That's a great idea. He walked out, it only took him 10 minutes to get it to $1.5 billion. That's millions of dollars in fees. The big one was the 10 million, you saw that one, the letter. He wants 10 million a year for introductory purposes, okay, 10 million. But it all blew up. By that time, the laptop from hell was found. The one that Schiff said was developed in Russia. It's unbelievable. And then you have Ukraine. He goes into Ukraine. His father was in charge of Ukraine, right? He was in charge of Russia, Ukraine, China specifically. He goes into Ukraine, $183,000 a month. Do you have energy experience? It's an energy, right? Burisma. Do you have energy experience? No, I don't. I don't know anything about energy. Well, we'll pay you $183,000 a month, and we'll give you an upfront fee of approximately $3 million. Would that be satisfactory? Now think of it. Now think of it. And there are other things too. Then he's got the brother, and he's got a hall. This is a corrupt enterprise. And then they had the big man gets 10%. The big man. Who's the big? He's not a big man to me. To me, he's a very meek, fragile. He's a fragile person, and he's very agitated. I watch him today. He gets more time on Fox. I've never seen anybody on Fox so much. They have everybody on Fox. They have all enemies on Fox. I think it's crazy. But he gets a lot of time on Fox, but he's so agitated. And now he comes out with the aviator glasses, but they're a little too small. They should be. He wants to look like Tom Cruise from a long time ago. No, but he's fragile. He's not going to be there. That's not what they're counting on. They're counting on somebody else. They're counting on by far the most liberal person in the Senate, Kamala. They like her. They like her. Every corrupt force in American life that betrayed you and hurt you is supporting Joe Biden. The failed establishment that started the disastrous foreign wars, they support Biden. the career politicians that offshored your industries and decimated your auto plants, and you suffered for many, many years. I'm telling you, that's why I'm here, I think, primarily. That was the first thing, trade. I said, how can they do that? They supported Biden. The open borders lobbyists that killed our fellow citizens with illegal drugs and gangs and crime that poured into our country, they support Biden. They still do. The anti-American radicals defaming our noble history, heritage, and heroes, they support Biden. They support him. They support Sleepy Joe. And you know, I signed a law that you take down any of our statues, any of our monuments, you go to jail for 10 years. It's amazing the way it seemed to have stopped. That's really amazing. Somebody said, oh, it just stopped. No, it didn't just stop. I took an old law and reactivated it, because a new law, you go into this with this bunch, with Nancy Pelosi and crying Chuck Schumer. You know what they'll do? They'll give you a medal if you rip down the statue. Antifa and the rioters, looters, Marxists, and left-wing extremists, they all support Joe Biden. This election comes down to a simple choice. Do you want to be ruled
It's
by
still
the
saying I'm buffering. Am I buffering?
political class, or do you want to be governed by the American people yourselves? You're going to govern the way it was supposed to be.
Am I still buffering to you guys?
Biden is a vote to give control of government over to the globalists and the communists, socialists, and wealthy liberal hypocrites who want to silence, cancel, and punish you. Cancel culture, they call it. Cancel culture. No, thank you. We want to be proud of our history. Good, bad, whatever. We want our history. We want to know, and we want to learn from our history. We don't want our history canceled. We want to learn. There's things we have to learn from our history, too. If you want your children to be safe, if you want your values to be respected, if you want to be treated with honor, dignity, and respect, then I am asking you to go tomorrow and vote for a person named President Trump. That'll win Michigan. This is a big, important place. If we win Michigan, it's over. It's over. We win the whole thing. 4 more years, and then we can finish the job we started so well. We can finish the job. You know, I got nominated. No, I say it because they don't write it. I just heard today, I thought it was 3. I got 4. 4 Nobel Peace Prizes. Can you believe it? 1 for the Middle East. 1 for Kosovo, Serbia. I mean, they want to make a trade deal. They're each fighting each other for many decades. They're fighting, killing each other. You've read it. I mean, for years, they're just automatic, killing each other for many, many decades. And we're doing these trade deals with them, not big deals, but they want them very badly. We're doing them. And they're each doing them. And I said to the people,
Okay, thanks, Travel Tour.
They want to make the deal with us. Everybody wants to make a deal with us. I said, they're killing each other, I think, right? They're killing each other. I read about it. They're killing each other for decades. Tell them we're not making a deal unless they get together and make a peace. And we told that to them. We're not interested in doing deals unless you guys can get along and not kill each other. You know, it's human lives. We don't know where it is. You don't know where it is. Some people have never heard of the places, but they're places and they're people. They're human beings. And I said, tell them we're going to do it, but you have to make peace. And we got them together. We made peace. And they actually nominated me for Nobel Peace Prize. I got 4 nominations and 4 unrelated things. That's crazy, right? And I told the story, you probably heard about it. The first one I went up, Middle East. You know, the Middle East is coming along. No blood in the sand, no nothing. The Middle East is great. Signed already 3 countries. We have 7, 8, 9 countries. They could all sign.
Nominated
said,
for the
how
Peace
did Obama
Prize?
do it? And they told me, I said, good, we'll do it the opposite. But not only Obama, for many, many years they haven't been able to do it. And we're really, I'd like to finish that up too. We need a little more time, you know. We need a little bit more time, but we have countries lined up. No money and no blood in the sand. No blood in the sand. Remember what I said 4 years ago. I am your voice,
Crazy.
and I will make America great again. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Together we will defeat the corrupt establishment, We will dethrone the failed political class. We will drain the Washington swamp. And we will save the American dream for
Hey,
your
Morris.
children, for your grandchildren.
I can see you.
This election is also a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown or a safe vaccine. The vaccine is coming along great. A couple of weeks, it's going to be out soon. That ends the pandemic. And it will end anyway. They hate it when I say we're rounding the corner. It's going to end anyway.
I hate to say it, guys. I think he's full of shit that way. You know, I like how he talks. I like what he's done so far. But I think he's full of shit when he says he has a safe vaccine. He might have a vaccine coming out, but there is no way it's safe. Vaccines are the only thing in medical, that they literally allow the companies to sign a waiver saying that, you know, they're not responsible for the outcome of it. The vaccine for the COVID-19 has not even been placebo effect tested. There's no way it's going to be safe. I'm just eating some Kraft dinner, mac and cheese, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. There's no way that this vaccine's going to be safe. There's just no way.
It's not going to be enforced. For people that want it, and we'll get it done.
30 Mississippi.
It'll all take place. And very quickly. And by the way, nobody else would have been able to do what we did. You know, nobody else would have been able to do what we did. You know, Joe Biden, he handled the swine flu as one of the great catastrophes. It was a mess. His own chief of staff said we had no idea what the hell we were doing. I don't know why this guy admitted that. I can't figure out why he admitted it. Probably before Joe thought he could ever run. You know, Joe thought his career was over because he wasn't thinking straight. Then he ran, and Elizabeth Warren said, I want to stay until the end and take out Bernie. You know, she took out Bernie, and we're running against Joe instead of Bernie. And Bernie's going to run again, though, in another 4 years. He's going to run again. One thing about that guy, he never gives up, does he? But he's a hell of a loser. I mean, he loses the first time.
No. Well, they're saying no.
Like, no hard feelings. He loses the second time horribly.
China's saying they're not having a flare-up, but who knows?
Bernie Sanders and everybody that he represents.
Nobody will really know.
But they're looking to take over Joe.
I think. Well, if you look at here, I'll pull it up.
You have to see what's in that one. Joe Biden is promising to delay the vaccine and turn America into a prison state. That's what he wants. Locking you in your home while letting the far left rioters, so the rioters and the looters, the anarchists, Antifa, they can go knock the hell out of you, roam your streets, set your stores on fire. No problem. That's called protesting. We must protect our protesters, but you're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to have dinner.
So I'll bring this up here so you guys can see it.
This state is the husband of your governor.
That's the numbers for COVID in China right now.
The one that's got special privileges. That was not a good day when he got
24,
voting or whatever the hell it was.
42.
Who are you? I'm the husband of the governor.
I think the highest they had was 127 back in July.
No, that wasn't a great day.
They had a spike
You gotta open up your state
in
government.
April,
Open it
but
up.
everything's
Let
down
the
to
kids
like
go back
24,
to
25 now. So 25 right now, as of October 23rd.
It's like Barron.
Now you want to see something for, you see how their numbers are this? Want to see something? Watch this.
They said, sir, Barron, White House doctor, great doctor, Sean. Sir, Barron just tested positive. I said, tested positive for what? Corona.
Whatever.
You know, it sounds like, I like the China virus. Or I like the plague from China, but
look at this. This is us right now. 4,000 per day.
Just tested
2,000 per day.
Corona. I said, well, I don't like that.
Isn't that crazy?
He's
A lot different than China, eh?
very tall. He's only 14 years old.
So,
Hi, Barry. And he's a good boy, but
what's real? I don't know. What's not? Who knows?
Then about 12 minutes later, I see the doctor. Doctor, how's Barry? No, it's okay. He's fine now. Took him about 12 seconds to get rid of it. Because they're young and they have a strong immune system. No, and he got better like so fast. And you know what I say? Let the kids.
Saying my connection is good now. Want to do a test there, Morris, now?
That from the other side, they want to lock it up. The Biden lockdown will mean no school, no graduation.
Well, it's not that they're doing something right. It's not that they're doing something right. Here's the thing. In these communist countries like China, Russia, places like that, when they say stay in home, they stay at home because they're scared of going out, getting shot, killed, whatever the case, whatever the government will do to them, right? Here in the Western part of the world, what do we do? It's conspiracy theory. It's fake. It's this. It's that. It's whatever, and that's why the numbers stay up, right? Now you'll hear a bunch of people saying it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. Okay, well, whether it's fake or it's real, our actions give the government power to say, look, thousands of people out on the street. Guess what? Our numbers are up, and we could say our numbers are up because we could justify our numbers because you guys are out on the street. So, with that being said, if everybody were to stay at home for 30 days, literally just stay at home, the government wouldn't, whether it's fake or it's real. If it's real, the virus would fade out because nobody would be nobody would be spreading it. But if it's fake, the government wouldn't be able to say, oh, the numbers are up, because everybody would be saying, well, how? We're at home. So, the problem is that will never happen. So people will always be hitting the streets. People will always be protesting. People will always be saying it's a conspiracy theory. And therefore, whether it's real or it's not, it doesn't matter. We give the government ammunition and enough grounds to say it's real. Therefore, they can impose their rules and regulations on us. That's exactly how it plays out. So it doesn't matter whether it's real or it's fake. Your actions dictate their actions based on the fact that they can justify saying there's 2,000 or more cases. Why? Because there was 30,000 people at a protest. Now, whether it's real or it's not, they still have the grounds to do it. So that's what it comes down to. So whether you believe in the virus or you don't believe in the virus, if everybody stayed at home for 30 days or 14 days, there'd be no way this virus, fake or real, could spread, and there's no way the government could say that the virus is spreading if everybody stayed at home. So a quick and easy way to get out of this and take the power away from the government is to literally stay at home, and then the virus should fade away. Just like it did in China, in North Korea, and all these other places. So whether it's true or not, if you say it's not true, but you still go out and do your thing, you give the ammunition to the government to say, hey, look, you're all out. So that's what it comes down to.
A socialist nation, okay? And that's what they want to do. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support your family, and freedom to live the great, great life that you've always wanted to have, then go cast your ballot tomorrow for your all-time favorite president, I hope.
Wayne. I'm going for president. See.
And remember that Secretary of Defense Robert Gates, a respected guy, he worked with Biden. He said Biden has been wrong on nearly every single major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 years.
So literally, if everybody just kind of said, on this date, where everybody's going to stay indoors for 30 days straight and only go out for groceries, that's it, then there'd be no way the government could have any grounds to say it.
I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh?
Wow.
Are you a junkie?
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, they switched on me. This is my wife, this is my sister. They switched on me. But I tell you, if
He's playing this at one of his rallies.
You're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
There is not a single solitary reason in the world. Why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, Dave. And back in those days, you sure how things have changed?
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing. Because if you could take care, you were a quartermaster. You can sure and help.
Uncle Wayne, send me a link.
Department store thing. We're in the second floor of the ladies' department. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
The rapidly rising I don't know. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Lying dog-faced pony soldier.
You're getting nervous, man. What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, he is going to find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
Lie after lie after lie after lie.
We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Brock and I think it's a right.
Wow.
People have bad character.
We have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug.
Wow.
We've got a lot of work to do. I don't need you to get me elected.
It's a case where we cannot let this. We've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections, and at the same time correct the public health. Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country, you're trying your best, but it never feels like enough. And here comes the train that he tried to make sure didn't continue to run. No, that's the commuter. All right. No, that's what. But folks, look. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical as well as my mental fitness.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
I can't believe he's showing this. Wow.
Let that happen. This country is so great. We have such potential. We're just starting to show our potential. If we didn't get hit with the plague, you'd see numbers, but we're going to do it anyway. Next year, we're going to do it anyway. It's going to be incredible. We can't let that happen. Everybody.
That is crazy.
And if he were a nice guy, he's never been a nice guy. Never been a smart guy. Never been smart. Everyone knows it. Never been smart. But if he was a nice guy, we wouldn't even do that. But that's just like a very small version. That's not even the bad stuff. And one thing I can tell you, President Xi of China, Putin, Kim Jong-un, these guys are at the top of their game. They can't have this. We don't want to give them this. We'll lose our country. We'll lose our country. We can't do it. We can't do it. Biden would be a disaster for cherry growers, farmers, workers, all across your state. You do so many different things.
I can't believe that.
Joining us tonight are Representative Jack Bergman. Two great guys, Jack, thank you very much. And John Molinar. Thank you, John. Thank you, fellas. Great warriors. They've been Just incredible people. I'll tell you what, they've been with me through everything, right? And we
Hey,
appreciate
16,
it.
do you have a link for
In
that?
the races, you don't need any additional help. They're probably about 30 points up. You know, when somebody's good, they're good. You guys are great. Thank you very much, both. And your next senator, a tremendous guy. I spotted him a long time. I spotted him. He was somebody I looked. There were 5 people running a little while ago, a year ago, for a seat. Frankly, you have somebody there. That's okay. But I saw this man, and I said, "Roll it back. I want to see that again." John James, right? And I said, "Wow, what potential!" And then I found out West Point, great student, great helicopter pilot. I trust him 100% to pilot my helicopter. I would do.
Do you have a link for Kamala Harris?
Supposed to be a great warrior, actually.
I'll try to
but
find one.
I got him to run, and he got his feet a little wet, and then he just took off. And I understand you're doing very well in that poll, John. I hear. Do you want to come up here? Come on up. Come here, John. Come here. Come on over here, John. Come on over it. He's a great guy, and I hope he's going to be voted in. You're doing very well. Come on, John.
Mr. President, it's an honor to have you back in our state. Are we grateful? Are we grateful for the United States of America? Are we grateful for a president who's been back in Michigan more in the past 6 days than Gary Peters has in the past 6 years?
Wow.
You know, it always tickles me a little bit when career politicians talk about what they're going to do. But Joe Biden has had 4 decades in Washington, and Gary Peters has had 3 decades in politics, and we still have a life that doesn't benefit all of us. We need to get leadership that's been tested in the real world, people who understand how to create jobs in the real world, who can continue to bring results for everyone. So it's my honor as a warfighter, as a combat veteran, to stand before you here today and encourage you to go vote, because only you can drain the swamp. God bless you.
I'm going to play that Kamala Harris. Wow. Sorry, guys.
Good guy, great man. That's a big, very important vote you're casting in addition to our vote. John James, he's a star. He's going to be a star. And you have somebody that's very special, and you know, his competition, nobody
Let's
knows
see.
who the hell he is. Peters.
You supported the Green New Deal, you supported Medicare for all, you supported legalizing marijuana. Joe Biden
Nobody
doesn't
knows
support
who
those
he
things.
is.
So are you going to
He's
bring the policy?
He's a puppet for crying Chuck Schumer, I guess. That's about it.
I'm gonna just switch over here. We know he's awesome. He's gonna be fine. I just want to switch this over to what Kamala Harris was saying here. Give me one second
Anyway,
here.
so good luck. John James, everyone. You have to do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this Kamala Harris video over here.
Policies, those progressive policies that you supported as senator, into a Biden administration?
I will always share with him my lived experience as it relates to any issue. And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
I want to give you that.
Well, lads, just when you thought Hillary Clinton was the most unlikable woman in all of politics, in comes that cackling hyena and says, "Hold my knee pads." That's right. That was Kamala Harris just last week in a 60 Minutes interview telling everybody, don't listen to Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump is a racist when he says that I'm going to bring in socialism and communism, that I'm going to drag Bernie Sanders.
I'm not gonna play his video just because I don't want to get a copyright strike on this. I haven't heard back from him. Kamala Harris. This was 5 hours ago.
Talked about a plan. Joe understands when we're dealing with a public health crisis, we need to kick in one of the most fundamental responsibilities of government, which is to concern itself with the health and well-being of the American people. Joe understood that back when he and President Obama, Barack Obama president, Joe Biden vice president, pushed through the Affordable Care Act, which was one of the most major and influential public policies we'd seen since Social Security. It brought health care to over 20 million people that didn't have it. It protected people with pre-existing conditions. Raise your hand or hunk if you know somebody with diabetes, or high blood pressure, or lupus, or a breast cancer survivor. And Pennsylvania knows Joe more than most. He's spent far too much time in a hospital with the people he loves. He knows that when we're talking about health care, it's about understanding that nobody should suffer, that nobody should go through unnecessary pain.
Wow.
Simply because they don't have enough money in their back pocket. Joe knows that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. So everything's at stake in this election because Joe is saying, unlike the other guy who's trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, Joe's saying, no, we're going to build on my success, meaning his success, and we're going to expand protections. We're going to bring down the cost of premiums, bring down the cost of prescription drugs. We're going to lower eligibility for Medicare to age 60. We're going to deal with the fact that when we're talking about health care, you got to understand the body doesn't just start from the neck down. It also includes the neck up, and that's called mental health care.
Which Biden should get first dibs at. And her.
There's a real choice in this election. Joe talks about the fact that we're in the midst of an economic crisis, in large part because of this pandemic. But look, we also know even before the pandemic, far too many Americans were working 2 and 3 jobs to try and pay the rent and put food on the table. Joe understands that in the America we believe in, nobody should have to work more than 1 job to pay the rent and put food on their table. Joe says, you want to talk to me about the economy and ask me how the economy's doing? Then I ask you, how are working people doing? How are working families doing? Joe understands that when they pass that tax bill benefiting the top 1% and the biggest corporations of America, causing us to deal with a $2 trillion deficit, that wasn't about working people. And if we get done what we need to get done, Pennsylvania, in the next 24 hours, Joe and I are about to get rid of that tax bill.
Wow.
And invest that money in working families, invest that money in infrastructure, building back up our roads and bridges, partnering with the building trades, the carpenters and the plumbers and the electricians, knowing their apprenticeship programs are the best in the world, building up America's
All right.
workforce.
You have a good night.
investing in our
See you
auto
after.
industry, making
We'll be going
our
live
auto industry
very shortly.
the largest manufacturer of electric vehicles.
On Watch with Wayne, if they let me.
Investing in working families, not raising taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year, but also investing in working families knowing you should never pay more than 7% of your income in child care.
Wow.
Investing in our students who come from families who make less than $125,000, saying if you go to a 4-year public school, including an HBCU, you will go for free. That's how Joe thinks about the economy. There's a real clear choice in this race. Let's deal with what Joe, being a student of American history and having the courage to speak truth, knows we need to do with a long overdue reckoning on racial injustice in America. Joe has the courage to speak a term the other guy will never say: Black Lives Matter. Joe knows, look, it may be uncomfortable for some folks to hear, but we got to deal with this. We have to deal with the fact that blacks and Latinos have been 3 times likely to contract COVID, twice as likely to die from it. We need to deal with the fact that our Native brothers and sisters have the highest rates of diabetes of any population in our country.
Did you guys realize how racist China is to black people? Do you guys know that?
That we are done.
Do you know that? Let's see if I can find that video. Hold on.
We're done with that. And Joe knows that the true measure of strength of any human being is measured not based on who you beat down, it's measured based on who you lift up. There's a real clear choice in this election.
I want to show you guys a video that's a commercial in China. Okay? It's not even, this isn't even a joke. I cross-referenced it. I checked it. I fact-checked it. This is a commercial that came out of China. Check this out. This guy makes some good stuff. Let me just bring this up like this. Check this out.
How to show you shocked me, and I hope everyone gets to see this. I will show you how Planet China treats black people. How
Watch this. Let's see if I can pull this up here full screen. Watch how this is China. I'm not even kidding.
Planet China, black people are seen as animals, and even how Planet China washes the blacks in the advertisements of washing machines. This is the concerning story of racism. We all know that COVID-19 started in China, but recently in one Chinese city, many black people have been evicted from their homes because they were seen as potential carriers of COVID-19.
African people were driven out by their landlords and had to stay on the streets.
At first, I didn't want to believe it, but then I saw this. These leaflets were all over McDonald's saying that black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant. How crazy is that? Little did I know that this was only the beginning. From one story to another, as I dig deeper and deeper, I found insane racism coming from Planet China. Let's start off with a clean slate. What you're looking at now is a Chinese advertisement. A washing machine that can wash the dirt of a black man and turn them into a clean Chinese man. For years now, many people living in China view black people as dirty and poor. And if you think this is crazy, there is way more. On Planet China, shows like this get into the mainstream TV.
This is actually the most watched program in the world.
Shows depicting blacks as very simplistic.
It featured a Chinese actress in blackface.
And using them to play as monkeys. And staying on the topic of animals, I present you a museum called This is Africa, where black people are bluntly compared to animals. Horrible, sad, shocking is what you would describe this with, but on Planet China, this is normal. And it took a national backlash to close this museum. This is insane! What do you think about this? What do your friends and family think about this? No matter where you are in the world, please share this video. Racism is bad. It's always wrong, but this time it may be even more motivated to cover it because it's clearly on a national level.
And their claims were of mistreatment, being evicted from their homes, also being denied access to restaurants and hotels.
China, how dare you approve?
Is there anybody still in the chat?
Recently, the world has shown
Anybody still in here?
and that's why we all stopped
I don't know if the
calling
chat's
COVID-19
working or
a
not.
Chinese virus. In fact, it is a virus that came from China, but we understand that it was wrong to call it that way. When will China grow to understand that racism is wrong? And to be clear, these are not all Chinese people. I know that many are not like that, and I know that many are simply ignorant because they never knew any black people. But this is still unacceptable. Planet China is wrong. By now, you've noticed that throughout this video I've been calling China a planet. And there is a reason for that. Many of us see China as a separate planet. That's how we grew to accept many wrong things coming from there. The animal cruelty, the spying, racism, and even concentration camps. But the more we see China as a separate planet, the more we will have to pay for it. Right now, quite
I'm gonna be right back, guys.
The world pays the big price of the coronavirus global pandemic because of the wild trade that happened at markets in Wuhan. For years, we ignored the fact that China does crazy stuff with wildlife. Right now, black people pay the price of living on planet China. It has been happening for many years now, and we cannot ignore this. Just like we realize that there's only one race, the human race. It's about time that we also realize that there's only one planet. And on that planet, China needs to be held accountable for racism.
So freaking true. Alright, so I'm going to play... let me see here. I gotta just... give me one sec here. Let's see, is there any more live?
His unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength.
Okay, I'm just gonna head out and get a coffee for my stream for tonight, and I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna just leave this play, and I'll be right back in about 15 minutes. These guys don't have to stay here now. I'm just gonna let it run.
We're gonna get it done. Our prices are the highest in the world for many years by far, and we're bringing them down to the lowest price anywhere in the world, matching the lowest price. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. And we will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. We will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God We Trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Michigan. Tomorrow, you have the power with your vote to save America. You are going to save America. It's the most important election. I say it all the time. This is the most important election our nation has ever had. I really believe that. Never thought I would have said that in a million years if you go back 4 years. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, and drag them up. Say, boss, come on, boy. You got to get out and vote. Get out and vote. So important. The red wave, I talk about it. The red wave, I think, is going to be far bigger. Look at all of these organic things that form in Iowa and the farm country. Tractors, thousands and thousands of tractors. Yesterday, didn't they have 100 miles of cars? It was like 100 miles. All over the country, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 boats with Trump and the American flags all over. Never happened. You know, a movement like this has never happened before. It's never happened. And we have to keep it going and finish it out. From Midland to Mackinac, from Lansing to Grand Rapids, And you know where my last stop is going to be? I'm sorry to tell you that. I feel a little guilty. But Grant, because you can believe it. So I have 5 of these today. And they're all big monsters. I had 5 of these today, but I actually had 6 because yesterday in Miami, we left the stage at 1:30 in the morning. So somebody said, if you want, they said, so if you want, you could say you did 6 today. I think I was going to say that. Nobody else could do 6 of these. You think it's easy up here? It's not easy. It's freezing up here, too. I got the wind. You don't have that. I have the wind. I'm freezing my ass off up here. Only from Michigan. And from Battle Creek and right here in Traverse City. It's a good place, right? Good place. We inherit the legacy of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and to defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, right? Raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and I mean that. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, 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 winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Michigan, we have made America powerful again. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Michigan. Go out and vote. Thank you very much. We are going to win this state, and we are going to win 4 more years in our great White House. With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police, support our fantastic military, care for our veterans, protect your Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that wonderful phrase, made in the USA. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. Under my leadership, our economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded, 33.1%, just announced last week. We created a record 11.4 million jobs in the last 5 months. It's a number that we never even thought possible. Nobody did. Nobody thought it was possible. And and we're going to now even do better than that. It's going very rapidly. While foreign nations are in a free fall, you see what's going on with so many nations in Europe, unfortunately. I say that with sadness. We are creating an economic powerhouse unrivaled anywhere in the world. A recent Gallup poll found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago under Obama and Biden. You gotta remember that. You gotta remember that kind of thing. They didn't do a good job. In fact, if they did, I wouldn't have run. If they did, I wouldn't be here right now. They did a bad job. And Obama, he went out yesterday with Biden. They got like 14 people. They didn't have too many. They didn't have too good a crowd. And we have 5 of these today. 5. We have some big ones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I love you too, and I appreciate that. We appreciate it. I was thinking coming in, because I watch these fake polls, everyone, no matter if we're up by 10, if we know we're going to win easily. He's down by 1 point. He's down by 1. I just watched this fake stuff, and I'm saying to myself, you know, we've been under a phony, fake, hoax investigation for 3 years. Nothing but bad and really corrupt publicity from these people. And I say, I wonder what the difference would have been had it been legit, right? Had it been legit. And it turned out to be just the opposite. They were the ones that committed the crimes, not us. But I wonder what it would have been. It probably would have been a little bit easier, but you know the good news, we're going to win anyway. We're going to shove it. We're going to win anyway. I wonder what it would have been. I wonder what it would have been if all of the nonsense wasn't brought up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Looking tremendous in Florida, so of course they don't mention that. You know, it's Florida. We are looking good. We're really looking good all over. In the real polls, not the Fox polls. Those Fox polls. There's somebody in Fox doesn't like me very much, I can tell you. They are the phoniest polls, and they were almost as bad 4 years ago. Actually, they were worse. But you get some of these pollsters, they work magic. And the amazing thing is that they hang on to their jobs. They do horribly. Look at what they did last. I had 9 states, and I had to win them all. And they said I was going to lose all 9. This is 4 years ago. I was going to lose all 9. It was going to be a very short evening for Donald Trump. And the poll said decisively I was going to lose all 9. And that was the day before. And I won all 9. I won it all. Or I wouldn't be here right now. No, I won all 9. It said we're going to lose all 9. And it was quite depressing as I turned on the television. Let's see how we did. He won Florida. He won South Carolina. No, but think of it. And then they said they're getting rid of the guy like at Fox. I heard they were getting rid of that pollster, and they kept him. And they have others they kept. And you wonder what kind of a business that is. You wonder what kind. We have a case where in Wisconsin we're one up. And I left there a couple of days ago. We had a rally, you wouldn't believe it. Packed. Just like last night, like here, but like last night. This was the section I wanted to come. This is considered a small, beautiful, cute little wonderful section. And they asked me, and I said, I want to be there. No, and every vote counts. It's very important. We had something last night in Miami. You would not have believed it. I don't know who saw it on television. I don't know. But you look at some of these results in Wisconsin. So, whether I'm up 1 or down 1, it's right in that thing. I think we're going to win Wisconsin because we have a lot of people that say, we don't want to talk to you, and then they go vote for Trump, right? The hidden voter or whatever they call them. Somebody said they're the shy voters. My people are not shy. But in Wisconsin, so they said ABC News, which is, in my opinion, corrupt, but they're all corrupt. ABC News, Washington Post, which is basically a lobbyist, as far as I'm concerned, for Amazon. It's just a lobbyist. So they didn't say like he's 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, a fake poll. They said Trump is 17 points down in Wisconsin. Now, the real number, I mean, you know, I could lose it, I could win it. I think it's, you know, I don't know how I'm not. I did a lot of good things for Wisconsin. But, you know, let's say it's even. And I call up a great pollster, John. I said, John, let me ask you a question. I think we're 1 up in Wisconsin, but ABC, Washington Post, they did the same thing 4 years ago, if you remember, very close to the election. They said we're down 12. And then we won, right? But we were down 12. And it's disheartening. It's called suppression. What it does is it suppresses people. They say, well, listen, we love the president, but if he can't win. So ABC, but they did it 4 years ago. And we complained bitterly with a very good lawyer. I had very good lawyers in those days. We complained very bitterly. And they changed it right before the election. I think it was 1, right? We're down 1. They took it from 12 to 1 in like about 15 seconds. And I realized, I said, this is a phony business. But now they come down and it says 17 down in Wisconsin, 17. So I called John McLaughlin. He's like the dean. He's a great guy. And he's been very good with me. I mean, he said we were going to win 4 years ago. He said we're going to win easily. This one. He's probably the biggest and the best. I said, John, let me ask you a question. ABC, Washington Post came out with a poll. It said I was 17 down. I'm not 17 down. I might be 1 down, or I might be 2 up, but I'm not 17 down. What's going on? Why don't they make it, because they have to live after that. They have to do other events and other, why don't they make it 3 or 4 or 2 or 5 or something? Well, he said they can't do that because they want you to lose. And if you're 2 or 3 or 4, everyone's going to go vote. They want to make sure that your people don't vote. And when you're 17 down, people say, I just can't waste my time. I'm not going to stand in the line. And I said, isn't that sick? And he said he knows some of the people, and they're very smart, they're very brilliant, they're smart people. He said, but if they made it 5 down, or 4 down, or 6 down even, so they make it something that's so bad, 17 down. I said, isn't that a shame? I want to tell that story. Do you mind? He said, I don't care. That's the way it is. So it's crooked stuff. The Fox polls are horrible. Every time I have a Fox poll, it's horrible. I mean, I like some of the things on Fox. Certainly Sean and Laura. And Tucker's been great lately. And Fox and Friends in the morning is great, right? We go through it. We have some, I find Harris to be great. Harris Faulkner to be really good. She's been very good over a period of time. The great Lou Dobbs, he's been fantastic, right? Janine, how do you like Janine, right? And you know, look, we have some great people that support us. Jesse has been great. Pete Hegseth has been great. And I don't want to mention, you know, there are a lot of people. Look, we have a lot, but it's 90% negative. Everything, you know, everything. But so think of that. So I said 17, and he gave me an answer. Just thought it was so incredible. I said, I got to tell that answer. So I hope I haven't bored you, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting. To me, it was interesting, and you know, I have like 5 of these to do today, so let's get going. I appreciate you being here. We had some monsters last night. We had some little rough weather. It wasn't like this. We had in Michigan, we had a slightly cold day with the wind blowing at 40 miles an hour in my face. And you're lucky you have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter. I was able to good memory. I would have been in big trouble. There was no way you could hold paper. There was no way you could do it. You would just, and my guy set it up where the wind was right smack in my face. And I was looking at that flag from the plane. I said, oh no, here we go again. But actually, the flag must be a very high quality silk because it's not that windy. But yesterday it was not, that was not an easy day. We had some very cold stops. So Biden and Harris, Kamala. You want her? You want her as your first woman president? I don't think so. And the radical left gain power. They will collapse our economy and send our nation into a depression. Biden will raise your taxes $4 trillion, massively increase your regulations, close down your factories, send your jobs overseas. That's what he's been doing all his life. Him and his group. Destroy the suburbs, dissolve your borders, terminate religious liberty, outlaw private health insurance. 180 million people have great health insurance. Shred your Second Amendment, confiscate your guns, and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. Biden has vowed to abolish the American oil and natural gas industries and ban fracking. He said it for a year and a half. He said it. Then all of a sudden he goes to Pennsylvania. No, I never said that. And the fake news doesn't do anything about it. Biden's energy ban will send every state into crushing poverty, from North Carolina to Michigan to Pennsylvania. As long as I'm president, we will remain the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in America. And we will remain energy independent. Sleepy Joe Biden is a globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs,
Good night, Uncle Wayne.
opening your borders and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless foreign wars in countries that most of you have never even heard of. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA, and they're all coming home. Don't worry about it. I said it.
All right. See everybody in a little bit on Watch with Wayne.
North Carolina lost 50% of all manufacturing jobs after those Biden betrayals.
I gotta figure out why it's buffering.
He's trying to follow my policy. He's trying to follow my policy. He's not going to do my policy. He's been doing this for 47 years plus, and for 8 years as vice president, which was only 3.5 years ago. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician who raked in millions from China while giving them your jobs. He's a corrupt.
All right.
He's a corrupt politician. You see it? You say the laptop shift, watermelon head shift. That laptop was produced by Russia. Here we go again. Russia. Here we go again. Can you imagine what they must think of it? These people are crazy. No, it was produced by, where's Hunter? That's right, it was produced by these guys are really, think of it.
Need a garbage bag so I can clean up.
Psycho in many ways, but he knows. It's a total con game. I
try
had
that?
to put up with it for 3 years. And it affects it. You know, when you see nothing but negative television every night,
Squeeze it through.
every night, and then they find totally no collusion after wasting $48 million, 18 people. Think of it. And then it's no collusion, but then you have to run. But you've had 3 years of horrible publicity. And they did it. I mean, they did it. They were the criminals. Hillary was a criminal.
Yeah.
She deleted her emails. People go to jail for that.
Of course, it's buffering.
These are criminals. But we took the brunt that we caught him spying on my campaign and trying to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States. So I go, and that was before I even knew. I mean, that was while I was running. I didn't even know. I hear these things, sir. This is before I got elected. Guys would come up to me every once in a while. Sir, do you have anything to do with Russia? I said, no. What do you ask? Oh, I was just curious. Because it was like this thing floating around. Then they come up again. Sir, are you sure you don't have anything to do with Russia? I said, I have nothing to do with Russia. What the hell are you doing? And you know, you hear it 4 or 5 times. Then you get into office and they come up with this scheme and this plot, overthrow the government of the United States. And then we have people that just don't act fast. It's just unbelievable. We have so much information. We have the whole thing. And Obama was involved. And Biden was involved. They were involved, but let's see what happens. People should move more quickly. In 2016, North Carolina voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. If I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. If I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder than any president has ever fought for his people. Thank you. Get out and vote. That's all I ask. Just take a little time and vote. Vote. We got to win this state. I think we win this state. We win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Florida. We win Pennsylvania. And you look to win the whole thing. We'll win the whole thing.
You want to open it up? Did you scare them?
Send them a signal like they've never seen before. This was not happening.
Look at the one behind you.
What?
The one behind you. Right there. Green one.
As opposed to affairs.
Yeah, this is stupid. Okay, I'm gonna shut this down. I gotta figure out this whole buffering thing because it's driving me nuts. So I'm gonna shut it down and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.